Okay, my name is Randy Reeves. I'm the General Sales Manager for Xtreme Manufacturing, and we're here to introduce our product today. And Xtreme Manufacturing, we build 5 products of our own in Las Vegas, and we build the larger telehandlers, the 8, 10, 12,000 pound capacities. And in '04, we were sitting down talking about how we could come up with a better way to round out our product line, have a better product line offering. And so we went over to Europe looking for a company that we could associate with, and we came across Daiichi, and we formed a relationship with them in early '05, and we bring over 5 of their products, and primarily the 5, 6, 7,000 pound range, and then 2 rotator machines, which are the 10,000 and 8,000 pounds. But we brought in this one today, our XRM 5.519 machine, and its rated capacity is 5,500 pounds, and it has a lift height, a reach of 19 feet. This particular model we felt was good to bring into the North American market, because we had a lot of feedback from customers out there in the rental industry and the construction and some of the ag markets. We would talk to people, and as we mentioned earlier this morning, a lot of the feedback was they're looking for a product that could get into some of the parking garages, some smaller areas, tighter areas and things like that, and also something that was small enough that could get underneath things like parking garages, and then with a weight capacity where they could load it up on a trailer. So the operating weight of this machine is 10,500 pounds, and the length of this machine from the rear to the fork face is 13 feet 5 inches. I'll talk a little bit about some of the cab. We have 2 versions. Okay, we've got an enclosed cab version, and we have an open cab version. This one today we're presenting the open cab version. Daiichi only built the enclosed cab versions in Europe, and so when we decided to bring this over into the North American market, we asked them to build us an open cab machine, and that would be more acceptable to our market here. And so this is what we came up with, and it's a really nice design. Some of the differences between an enclosed cab and an open cab machine is that this particular machine, an open cab machine, does not have the plastic interior. It has a vinyl seat rather than a cloth material seat, and of course the glass in the door, cab enclosure. Also in the enclosed cab machine, it has an onboard computer, or what we would call a load moment control. For safety purposes, they have that in there. Whereas in our open cab machines for the rental market, we felt that we had to have something that was open, and so we have steel panels, and everything's protected. Instead of having digital readout controls and computer, we've got just your normal standard instrumentation that would show your temperature gauges, your fuel gauges, your speedometer, and then of course there's a leveling gauge here, and we have the transmission selector for forward, neutral, and reverse, and also this is a 1-speed transmission machine. It's a Dana transmission. It's hydrostatic drive. And so we've got 2 foot pedals here. One's a clutch pedal, or if you will, an inching pedal, and then the other pedal is a brake pedal, and then the far right pedal is the accelerator pedal, and operates the drive. Then we have what we referred to this morning as the mechanical joystick that operates. It's not electric over hydraulic. It does have a push-button control, or on the handle. It's a red trigger button, and you pull the trigger button in order to hold that. It's called like a dead man switch, and you hold it down in order to operate the functions of the boom. And so if you push forward on the lever, then it would lower the boom. If you pull back on the lever, it raises the boom. Then there's a trigger switch at the top of the lever that you move it forward, it'll extend the boom, and if you pull it back, it will retract the boom. And then, of course, if you move the lever to the right, it will then dump the bucket or the forks. And if you move the lever to the left, it will then raise up the bucket or the forks for the tilt control. We have an auxiliary lever that's just behind it, which would operate the auxiliaries controls, and that comes standard on this machine. It also has an optional rear hydraulic controls where we can mount on the smaller machines a 3-point hitch and something like a 3-point hitch. You would be able to put a PTO on it for some of the ag markets. Comes with a nice rear suspension seat and with a little tool compartment underneath the seat. And then behind the auxiliary lever, which would actuate the auxiliaries, there's another lever that's a 3-function lever which would operate the 3 modes of steering, so that it would have the your oblique crab steering in the forward position, and in the middle position it would be the 2-wheel front steering, and in the far rear position would be the 4-wheel control, 4-wheel drive steer. It's a ROPS canopy. We've got the parking brake, and then we've got a light switch, and it's pretty much the plain machine. You get other options with the enclosed cab, as I mentioned. You would get air conditioning, heating, that type of thing. Now, with this open cab, you get full-time air. Okay. On the front, once again, we've got our attachments. We have over a dozen attachments that would apply to this machine. This one has the auxiliary, or what I would say, the quick disconnect from the cab. A standard machine would just have the manual disconnects, which would have a pin that would come from this side and a pin from the other side that you would pull out and then disengage it. Okay, I think I mentioned that it has Dana Spicer axles, and it's a hydrostatic transmission. I'll open up the engine area. Okay, this unit is powered by a 3.3 liter Yanmar diesel engine, normally aspirated, and it's 71 horsepower at about 2,900 RPMs. The hydraulic system is a Rexroth system. And of course we have the battery, and all your maintenance checks are at this point. Very easy to access. All the maintenance checks and everything are right here. So that pretty much covers the engine area, the drive system, our cab, and it does have a hydraulic gauge that you would check, which is over on the other side. It's a sight gauge. And I think that pretty much covers it. Any questions or?
Is there the term that I've been advised that I could call it as creep control, so that you can power, let's say, a brush or an auger, or not an auger, or let's say a snowblower or something that has a high volume requirement to operate that while at the same time moving very slowly, so you don't burn up your transmission?
It does have. This model doesn't have it, but there's an option where you would have it's a throttle control. You know, it's a constant speed throttle control that you would hold down, and then the travel would be by the foot pedal. But there's a throttle control right here that would be a constant speed throttle. That's an option. We have it on the bigger machines.
So does that throttle what does that throttle down?
So let's say that you were running a PTO on the back of the machine, and you need that PTO running at full RPM, then you could push that down, and then you could operate that pedal there and the brake for travel.
Okay, but you would still be putting out maximum flow through the transmission. Okay. All right. I think Katie, you have some questions. Oh, can you demonstrate how the auxiliary hydraulics work?
Sure. Okay. Raise the boom. Okay, here's the auxiliary handle right here, and we have a side shifter on at this point in time, and so this would actuate the side shift. All right, and then in order to disengage, we'd have to reconnect the hydraulics there because we don't have the optional block where we could plug them both in.
So this is the manual system you're saying, not the hydraulic. Can you show us how the manual system works, though? I'd be curious to see that.
Now the manual, no, this is the hydraulic system.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the hydraulic system, as far as.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we'll take these off here, and then this.
Oh, I see. You had the hydraulic system plumbed into the option.
We don't have the other optional block to put them both together. We haven't put it on this one. And then all right, so then you see the locking pin, the locking mechanism on the rear portion and the lower portion there. It comes out like that. So then I just turn it like this. Like that.
Tier 3 compliance? How are we? Is this engine Tier 3 compliant, or?
No, I don't. It won't happen.
It doesn't have to be. Okay. Is that? I mean, when is that? 2008.
Starting in January.
January of 2008. Okay. I mean, what?
These are air-filled tires.
Air-filled tires.
Right. Tamper-proof lockup. No.
Is there an alignment guide for steering? So, or is it just visual to know if you're aligned for steering?
Yeah, it's visual.
Visual. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do you, Lee? How do you guys measure hydraulic flow? Do you measure at the pump, at the head, pump output? But I mean at the pump itself?
Yeah.
And at what pressure? Do you know?
It's 3,300 at the pump. 3,300.
This is the Apollo 2900. Apollo 2900.
Is that? Okay, because
So it's
That's what's constant.
it's 21 gallon GPM.
machine at the hydraulic pump flow? Okay.
Yeah,
Which is
hydraulic.
2,900, you said, or?
That's
The pressure.
Pressure is 2,900. The GPM is 21.
So it's 21 GPM at 2,900 PSI.
Say